So, you think you know America, huh? Land of the free, home of the brave, inventor of the deep-fried butter stick. You probably learned in school that the United States has 50 states. 50. A nice, round, satisfying number, but what if I told you that answer is, well, kinda wrong? And more importantly, what's the deal with the map? Why do some states look like they were drawn by a toddler with a ruler, while others look like a spilled coffee stain? And yes, why does one of them look suspiciously like a leftover slice of gas station pizza? Let's get this out of the way. The 50 states thing is a branding masterpiece. The real answer is more complicated, like a relationship status on Facebook. You've got your 50 official states, sure, but then there's Washington, D.C., which isn't a state but acts like one, except it has no voting power in Congress. It's like being invited to the party, but you're not allowed to request any songs. Then you have the territories: Puerto Rico, Guam, the U.S. Virgin Islands. These are the "it's complicated" relationships. They're part of the U.S. family. Their people are U.S. citizens, but they're not states. It's like America is a TV show, and these guys are the characters from the web-only spin-off series. So the real number is 50, plus an asterisk the size of Texas. But back to the map, those perfect rectangles out west, Colorado, Wyoming, the so-called pizza slice state. That's not a pizza slice, my friend. That's what happens when you let a bunch of guys in Washington, D.C. in the 19th century draw borders on a map of places they've never been to. They just took a ruler and went, all right, from this line of longitude to that one and this line of latitude to that one. Done. Let's go for lunch. No mountains, no rivers, no culture, just lines. It's the most beautifully lazy, yet brutally efficient piece of nation building you'll ever see. So if America is the most of anything, it's the most confident country in using a ruler to solve geographic problems. Speaking of drawing lines on maps, let's hop across the pond to the country that turned drawing lines on other people's maps into an Olympic sport: Great Britain. You look at Britain itself, and it's all wrinkly and chaotic, shaped by thousands of years of history, invasions, and bad weather. But then you look at the world map. See that unnaturally straight line between Egypt and Sudan, or between Canada and the US. Chances are a British guy with a fancy hat drew that. Britain's most, however, isn't about lines. According to historical data, Britain is the country that has invaded the most other countries. We're talking about roughly 90% of all the countries on Earth, from America to Zambia, from Bhutan to Belize. If your country exists, there's a good chance a British soldier once showed up uninvited and asked where the tea was. It's less of a British empire and more of a world's most persistent house guest. Now let's go back to North America, right above those ruler-drawn states, to the land of maple syrup and saying sorry. Canada. The stereotype is that they are the most polite, but that's boring. That's what they want you to think. The real Canadian most is much cooler and, frankly, more terrifying. Canada is the country with the most lakes in the world. It's not even close. They have more lakes than every other country on the planet combined. It's like God was building the earth, got to Canada, and just spilled a giant glass of water everywhere. But my personal favorites most for Canada, most surprisingly violent national sport. You think hockey is just graceful skating? Number. It's a sport where the job title enforcer is real. His only purpose is to legally punch other players in the face. It's the only place in the world where you can commit assault, get a 5-minute penalty, and be hailed as a hero. So much for sorry, eh? Okay, let's head south. Way south, past the U.S. border. Mexico. What do you think of? Tacos, tequila, beaches. Sure, but that's like saying the U.S. is just about burgers. Mexico's real most is a mind-blowing plot twist. Mexico is the country with the most pyramids in the world. Yeah, you heard me. More than Egypt. While the Egyptians were building a few giant famous ones, the various civilizations in what is now Mexico, the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Olmecs, were building them all over the place. The Great Pyramid of Cholula is the largest pyramid on Earth by volume. It's so big the Spanish built a church on top of it, probably because they thought it was just a big hill. It's the ultimate historical camouflage. Let's keep going south to Colombia. For a long time, Colombia's most was, well, you know, cocaine. Pablo Escobar. It was the world's most famous and dangerous narco state. But here's the thing about countries. they can have sequels. And Colombia's sequel is a blockbuster. Today, Colombia has achieved one of the most incredible turnarounds in modern history, so I'm giving it the award for most successful national rebranding. The city of Medellin, once the murder capital of the world, is now a hub of innovation and tourism. They have a stunning public transit system. Bogota closes its main streets every Sunday for cyclists. And their new biggest export? Flowers. Yeah, flowers. Colombia is the world's second largest exporter of flowers. They went from cocaine to carnations. That's a mic drop moment for an entire nation. Finally, let's take a wild jump to a place that's always in the news, usually for all the wrong reasons: Iran. The headlines are all about politics, nuclear deals, and tension. But if you zoom out, like way out, a couple thousand years out, you find Iran's true most. Iran, historically known as Persia, is arguably the world's most misunderstood and influential ancient superpower. We're talking about the Persian Empire. These are the guys who basically invented the idea of a humane, multicultural empire under Cyrus the Great. The Cyrus Cylinder is considered by many to be the world's first charter of human rights. They invented windmills. They created one of the first postal services, so efficient that the ancient Greeks wrote about it in awe. The famous American Postal Service motto, "Neither snow nor rain nor heat nor gloom of night stays these couriers," is a direct quote about the ancient Persian mailmen. So while the modern headlines are complicated, the historical foundation is one of the most sophisticated the world has ever seen. So we started with a pizza slice in America and ended with the Postal Service in ancient Persia. What's the point? The point is that the lines on a map, whether they're straight like a ruler or squiggly like a coastline, don't tell you the story. And the stereotypes we hear on the news, they're just the loud, obnoxious trailer for a much deeper, more complex, and infinitely more interesting movie. Every country has its mosts, its weird quirks, its hidden history, and its incredible comeback stories. So the next time you hear a simple, one-word description of a country, polite, dangerous, old, or rectangular, maybe pause for a second. What's the real story they're not telling you? And what's the most that would actually blow your mind? Thanks for sticking around till the end. If you had a good time, learned something weird, or just laughed at the idea of a pizza slice-shaped state, go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. And hey, if you want more bizarre history facts, wild mosts, and global plot twists you definitely didn't learn in school, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss a thing. Until next time, stay curious, stay weird, and we'll see you in the next one.